Hell hath no fury like a mad scientist scorn. The Invisible Man, or as I like to call it, Clay Aiken's favorite film.
If I was invisible, then I would just watch you in your room.
Released in 2020 and is directed by Lee Wannell, who has also directed such films like Insidious Chapter 3 and Upgrade. And this film is starring Elisabeth Moss, Adis Hodge, Storm Reed, Harriet Dyer, Michael Dorman, and Oliver Jackson-Cohen. And the reason why we're talking about The Invisible Man today is because it was a PayPal recommendation and donation from one of my longtime subscribers and biggest contributors on this channel, Name the Stars. Thank you very much. You attached this one with the original The Invisible Man film from 1933, which we checked out last time, and as I explained last time, I actually had a visit from The Invisible Man a couple of days ago, and he injected me with this kind of invisible serum. So here I am sitting down on this chair doing this review, and gotta say, it's a little interesting, but yeah, probably not very interesting to look at, that's for frickin' sure. Our protagonist, Cecilia, manages to escape her mentally and physically abusive husband from their huge-ass mansion on the side of a cliff. And 2 weeks later, after she's been on the run, she learns that her husband has died due to suicide. However, shortly after that news, a lot of strange and suspicious things start happening around her safe house to make her think that her ex-husband is not really dead, but invisible. It also doesn't help that you're married to the leading scientist, I guess, in optics in the world. And I don't know what that means, but he is the leading scientist of optics, as it's been stated multiple times in this movie. Never explained, just said, leading scientist in optics. Yeah. I had heard a lot of great things about this movie, but I never got around to watching it, which is very strange seeing how it came out in 2020, which was the start of the pandemic, so everyone's just kind of trapped in their house. You would think that I would have had time to eventually watch this thing, just never got around to watching it. Thankfully, one of my subscribers, Drew Hallam from the Real Fields podcast, actually shipped me a copy of this movie, so I got to finally watch it. Thank you very much, Drew. I appreciate you. And this film turned out to be incredible. Basically, it's a masterclass of cinematography and sound editing and sound mixing. The sound design or lack of sound design in this film, the lack of music in this movie, is very eerie and very suspenseful and keeps this tension going throughout the entire film because it's a movie called The Invisible Man, so you're thinking the entire time, well, of course, there has to be someone standing in the corner or there's someone there watching her. There has to be. And you ask yourself at points, okay, is that her breathing or is that him breathing? I'm hearing something breathing. It could have been the cat that was sitting on my lap because he's a very hard and loud breather, but I'm pretty sure it's him, or there's something going on. And then the cinematography is fantastic. There are tons of wide shots where you get the entire apartment in the frame, and Elisabeth Moss, or whoever the main character is on the screen, is just a little off to the side. They're a little askew. They're not center camera, making you think that there is someone either in a corner, or standing behind them, or standing over there. It's freaky. It is awesome. And then on top of all that, you have a tremendous performance from Elisabeth Moss, who you feel sympathetic over. And then at times, the script, the story does a great job of making you second guess who she is. Maybe she's in the wrong, and maybe this Adrian guy who she was married to, maybe he's not so bad. But then you realize, like, no, it can't be. It can't be that. He's the bad guy. She's the good guy. But then you start questioning again. This script, this movie, this acting, this cinematography is all top notch. It's an amazing revenge tale, actually, and it's a revenge tale from both viewpoints. From Adrian, her ex-husband, who is constantly manipulating her, and what she describes about him makes him out to be like the worst dude on the frickin' planet. But then you start kind of seeing it from his end, and you can see, like, well, maybe Elisabeth Moss's character is making it up in her mind, and maybe he's not so bad, and maybe she is at fault too. It's great. It makes you second guess everything. It makes you look at everything on two different sides. The right person, though, won out in the end, in my opinion. But this thing keeps you guessing, and it's not simple at all. When you think the movie is over, it actually goes on for another 30 minutes. I just love this movie so much. The only thing that took me out of it was when we first get the reveal of the Invisible Man, and he starts torturing her and choking her and slapping her around and throwing her around the apartment. There's a lot of bad CGI, especially with the table flipping. This guy is able to flip this table 180 degrees, yet when he's dragging Elisabeth Moss back into the kitchen, she grabs hold of one of the legs of the table to stop him from dragging it, and it does. Like, the table doesn't budge at all. So I'm like, okay, how much does this table actually weigh? I think there's some disconnect in there. Because if that table was so easily flipped onto its head, and then she's being pulled and she's grabbing onto it, I think that table should be moving with Elisabeth Moss. So definitely some work needed to be done in that scene with the CGI. But that is a very, very tiny nitpick to a movie that is thrilling, that keeps you guessing. The score, again, like I said before, is fantastic because really, there's no score. There's no music. A lot of the times, it's just you hear the house creaking, or you hear breathing, or you hear a light switch turn on. And that freaks you out, man. Freaks you frickin' out. That's probably one of the things that every human fears the most. They fear what they can't see. So this concept of this jealous lover, or ex-lover, being so angry and having developed this type of serum or suit that turns him invisible, yeah, that's frickin' scary. But it all builds to a pretty incredible and very satisfying climax that definitely left a smile on my face, and when the credits started rolling, I was like, yeah, this movie is it. That was fantastic, and I want more of this type of horror movie. This was fantastic. I'm gonna give The Invisible Man 4.5 out of 5 Blu-rays.
It's good. It's good. It's good.
Well, that's my review of The Invisible Man, and hopefully this Invisible Man serum starts wearing off here in a sec. Ooh, oh, actually, I kind of feel a little warm. Oh, am I coming back? Oh, yeah. Oh yeah, that's definitely wearing off. Hey, here I am. I've seen you, but you haven't seen me for the last couple of reviews, so... Oh boy, thank God, never inviting that guy over to my house again. And I'm sure many of you are asking yourself, well, how does this invisible serum that this invisible man injected me with, how did that affect your clothing? Like, how did that turn that invisible? Well, let me tell you. See, what happened was... So guys, if you've seen The Invisible Man, what did you think about it? Or if you've never seen it before and you stumbled across because of this video, then comment below, let me know what you thought about it. And as always, if you like what you see here, if you like my take on movies, then hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell. See you the next time I release next movie review. So guys, I will see you next time on the channel, but in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.